In this video, we will describe and show what a lot is, how you receive, how you ship those lots, and how you just view all of the data that will be collected in the system for a given lot. When you first log into AgResult, on the left menu, you're going to have to go to the herd menu and then find the lots on feed option. When you click on that, you're going to see any existing lots that you have currently on feed in your location. In a beginning account, you're not going to have any of these, so I'm going to step you through how to receive your first lot. And then you would do the same step every time you receive an additional group of animals that you want to track separately. So in the bottom left-hand corner, you're going to click the plus button. And this is going to give us our create lot dialog, which has a bunch of pieces of information about that lot that you need to enter in at the time of receiving your lot. So you can give this a friendly name. This can be a code, a number code, a sequence that you use for your operation to distinguish this group of animals if you have a naming convention like that. But in this example, we're just going to call it demo lot. Lot type is just the distinction of what type of animals these are. And lot partnership type is how the system knows whether or not you are custom feeding this lot or if you own these cattle internally. So we're going to make this lot custom fed. So we're going to choose customer cattle. That's described here. Cattle that are owned by an investor or some other client of the feedlot and fed and managed for a fee. And then once you choose that, you're going to have another drop down here, which is called customer cattle partner. And if you want to, you can refer to the partners training video to describe what a customer cattle partner is. But we're going to choose John Doe 1 as our customer that owns these cattle. And then for the livestock company, again, you can refer to that partners tutorial. But this is just how we link which livestock company we purchased these animals from. And if you have a specific cattle feeder, you can choose who fed these animals, probably the backgrounder, before they got to your operation. And then how many head are you receiving? We're going to receive 25 head today. We're going to choose the destination pen that we're going to put these and sort these animals into. And then the next step here is whether or not you know the pounds that you're receiving and the price that you're receiving, or if you need to estimate the average pounds. The reason that this information is important is because the medications that get automatically applied based on your configuration is automatically applied based on the weight of the animals. So oftentimes medication is recommended to be added per cc or cc's per pound rather, and unless you enter in an estimation, the system will not know how much medication you applied. So in this example, we're just going to estimate these at 900 pounds. That's a default, but you can change this to whatever you feel it is close to. And we're just going to write down here a demo lot for tutorial. And that's going to be just a history note. Once your lot's created, it's going to drop you onto the lot overview, and it's going to show you what this group of animals looks like. If we would go back to the lots on feed page, we are going to be able to also see this demo lot at the top, and it's listed as lot 39 demo lot. So the 39 is just a sequence number that the system gives your lots for each location. So we're going to click on that, and now we're going to look back here. So the main thing to know here is that there's this green bar that has separate pieces of information about this lot. And so currently we're looking at the lot movements, and this is going to show you all instances where you received, where you shipped, or where there was a death of this lot. And then because when we received this animal, we did not know the total weight or the total price we estimated. These two orange buttons are just highlighting this to tell you and to remind you to enter in this information once you receive it. So once you get the weight ticket or the invoice from the sale, you need to go in here and edit this just to keep accurate data for this lot. This is important for closeouts so that we know the gain and the margin for the price when you sell this group. So if you need to receive, let's say you have 2 shipments, this example we received 25. Let's say that was 1 truckload and we want to separate these, and tomorrow we're getting another truckload of 25 and we want them to be in the same group. Instead of, like we showed how to create a lot, once that lot's created, in order to receive additional animals into this lot, you need to click on this blue receive button. And a lot of this information then would be entered again. And some of it would not be entered again, but we're gonna receive 30 more head. We're gonna again put them into pen 6. We're gonna estimate them at 900, and we're gonna say another note down there. And then as you can see, here's where the note is displayed. So you got historical information of any notes you add during receipt. So this is not gonna be realistic because it's a demo, but when the time comes to ship this animal, which obviously you're probably not going to ship it the day you receive it, but when the time comes to ship it, you will click the ship button. And then at the top here, this is going to look a little bit different than the lot creation, but at the top here, it's going to show you a box where you choose the source pen. Now in this example, this lot is only in 1 pen, but if there was a split, you had 25 in 1 pen, 25 in the other, and you were organizing it as the same lot, you would have multiple selections here as your source pens. And if we're going to ship 10 out, you also then can choose the price and the weight if you know those things. If not, you can enter them later. So we're going to ship it, and now you can see here is an additional lot movement where we just shipped out 10. And we have these orange buttons to remind us we need to enter these values in once we get them. And again, death is the other thing that you can do, which is probably unrealistic to do this all in the same day. But when one dies, you will need to tell the system the source pen that the animal died. Let's call it broken leg, and you hit death, and that will be here. And there is no total value in total weight because this is a total loss. And there's your history of why it died. So after all this is done, if we do the math on this, we got 55 animals received originally. We took out 10, so we're at 45. We took out 1, we're at 44. If you look up here at the top, we have these little number cards which show us the action or the activity of these different movements. So it knows that we have currently 45 alive. We initially received 55, 10 are shipped, and 1 is dead. So this is just a sum, a number you can look at really quickly to see your story of your status, especially if you're shipping kind of through the month as they're finishing. You can see here to see how many you have left. So I'm going to switch gears and we're going to go to the pens tab, and this will just show you where this lot is. So if you have this lot in 1 pen, you're going to have 1 row, just like you see here. You're going to see how many are in that pen. If you have them in multiple pens, by doing pen movements, you would see all of them here. Charges is going to show you all of the charges that are applied to this lot. So these are things like shoot charges that you're going to bill per animals that you receive. So if you remember, we received 25 and 30. This demo account has a shoot charge of $2 per head. So these charges were automatically applied when we receive these animals. And then we also have another automatic charge to apply a $138 price at the time of death. So you're seeing that as well. If you look at the top, then I just want to show you the relationship here between this top box, which this top box of information will show you a sum of charges, medications, and device costs for this lot over the course of time. So charges is the top one, and that's the tab we're on the bottom. We're at $138 cost, $248 price. That's the numbers we're seeing here. It's the sum of all charges. And then the rest is medications and devices, and we're going to jump into those next. But first, we're going to look at how to add a charge. So this blue button, similar to receiving, shipping, and death, like I showed you before, this button is going to be a tool for us to add a charge that's maybe not automatic. So those other charges I showed you were automatic based on receiving and deaths. But if you have a vet charge, you want to charge, let's say $250, something happens, you need to call a vet out, and they bill you for $250. You can apply that charge. It's going to add to here, going to display the date and everything, and then your charge is at the top or updated. So that's just how you add a manual charge. Most times charges are automatic if you configure your account correctly, but that is possible to add them as they come in. So we're going to switch to the medications tab, and the medications, all of these here that you're seeing are automatic. Let's scroll back to the top. So medications can be configured, and I'd recommend to watch the medications video. Medications can be configured to automatically apply when you receive animals. Medications also, based on recommendations from the manufacturer of the medication, will tell you treatment recommendations, how many cc's to apply per hundredweight, or if it's a vaccine, how many cc's to apply per animal. Those things can be configured automatically if you have a health plan and you always work your animals in the same way. You can set that up, and then it saves you all the effort of keeping track of what you actually did, as long as you follow your plan in the real world. Obviously, AgResult software does not administer recommendations for medications. That's all up to your operation to follow the guidelines, specifications of the medications. But this is the tool to keep track of your costs. So if you remember, we received 25 and then 30. This account has a health plan to treat these four meds every time they receive an animal. So if you see this number 25, then there's 4 sets of those. And then there's this number 30, there's 4 sets of those. These are all the costs that are applied at when we work those animals. And at the top, we have the medications. This is the summary of all the meds that we have here, which matches this number. So this is just a good spot to look here to see all your total costs. If you are working animals that are not being received, but you're treating a sick animal and you need to come in here to medicate, manually add medication, you use this blue button. It'll open the Medicate Lot dialog. From here, you'll choose your medication. And let's just choose penicillin. And this here is going to tell us our recommended cc's per 100 pounds. That again, follow your paperwork and documentation from the medication manufacturer. This is something that you would have entered in yourself, so that just so you can use this as a reference. And we are treating a 9-weight steer, so we're going to use 9 cc's because this is cc's per 100 pounds. And we're going to treat 2 animals, let's call it. So what this is going to do is going to multiply 9 cc's times 2, get our cost and our price for this med, and it's going to apply it. So we're going to add that. And then we see penicillin, we treated 2 heads, 9 cc's per head, and there's your breakout of how much this cost us. Obviously, this is probably an under treatment, but it's just a demo. So this again is just how you would keep track of things. If you make a mistake, you can always delete these, and that will remove that cost from the animal or from the lot. So then moving on to devices. A lot of people ask what devices are. It's basically just implants and tags. Instead of medications, which get administered per cc or per vaccine, implants and tags obviously get added to the animal per unit. So it's just a little bit different way to look at it. Again, but these can be automatically configured. So if you always implant or you always tag, you can, as is done here, you can set these up to automatically apply. So you don't have to think about adding these costs to the animals. You do your job, you receive your animals in the system, and you work the animals in the real world, and the system can take care of making sure all the numbers line up and you don't forget costs. And then here's your sum of all devices. So that is the overview of what a lot looks like, how you create them, receive additional into them, you ship, and you have deaths possibly, how you view pens that the lot is in, how you view the charges, the medications, and the devices. And that's really it. Once a lot is closed out, you will get closeout reports, and that will be in the closeout video, so you can look for that one, and we'll talk about this next option called closeouts.